Hey, I heard that you were going to be getting married from Mom. So, tell me, who's the lucky guy? Probably some poor sap really down on his luck, huh?
Hey there, sis. Glad to see that you're as rude as ever. I guess that means you must be doing well then, right?
So it is true. Are you really going to be getting married? What's the person like? I bet they're just some scammer after your money. Who else would want to marry you?
Can you please just cut it out already, Teresa? I mean, we haven't talked in ages and this is how you greet your little sister? I thought you might have been just a little more excited to hear that I was getting married. Or is it that your life is going so horribly that you have nothing better to do but take others down?
You wish that were the case, dork. I just want to remind you that no matter how hard you try, you'll never be happy. Especially not as happy as I am with my amazing husband. You're just a bottom-dwelling piece of trash, and nothing is going to change that.
Okay, did you message me because you wanted to talk about something, or is this it? Because I never remember even asking you to message me for anything. If you want to congratulate me on my wedding, then do so and leave me alone.
Oh, right, that reminds me. I heard about where it was that you were going to be holding your wedding.
I guess news really does travel fast these days, doesn't it?
You really think that your wedding is going to be good enough to make it worth holding at a place like that? What are you, a moron or something?
What are you even talking about, Teresa? If you have a problem with where I'm holding my wedding, then you should just come out and say it. Why are you even acting like this anyways? We're both adults, but sometimes it feels like I'm the only one who acts like it.
Oh, really? You think you're so much more mature than me, huh? Well, I think that you're just getting upset because you know that what I'm saying is true.
I really don't think that at all. Like, even one bit.
All I'm saying is that the place you got for your wedding is way too good for the likes of you. And just how many people are you going to be inviting anyways? You seriously need to learn your place.
Wait a second. Are you just mad about where I'm getting married because it's in a bigger venue than where you did?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you really think I would let myself be bothered by something so stupid? I just think that you're getting a bit uppity and need to stay where you belong.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I don't think there's anything to be worried about. My fiancé made the reservations, and I think most of the guests there are going to be his anyways. He was going to be inviting friends and family, but also some people from his work as well as business partners. Does that make you feel better about the whole thing?
So what? Your husband works for some kind of big company or something like that? Is that your way of trying to brag about him to me?
No, he doesn't work for a company or anything like that at all.
Wait, what? So then he's just a freelancer or something like that then?
No, he's not that either. He just invests in the stock market and makes money that way. I don't really know all the details personally.
Wait, what? Is that the best you could come up with? So, basically, you're getting married to some small-time freelancer, and you think I'm not going to go after you for that.
Well, it would certainly mean a lot to me if you didn't bully me for who I'm going to marry. I don't really see how who I marry or where I do is really any concern of yours. So I think you'd be better off just not worrying about that at all.
You really are a stupid little girl, do you know that? Sometimes I wish I could live in the fantasy world that you've made for yourself.
I'm sorry, Teresa, but putting down others isn't going to change anything about your own life. Maybe you should just worry about your own stuff and leave me alone. Anyways, when I have more details about the wedding, I'll let you know. But don't think you're under any obligation to be there. I would hate for you to lower yourself just for me.
I found out who your husband is, Max.
What are you talking about this time, Teresa?
I really couldn't believe that it was him when I saw what he was wearing while going out into town. You really did marry some lowly little freelancer, didn't you?
Teresa, I really think you have no idea what you're even talking about.
No. I went around where you live and I saw your husband going out. At first I was like, is that really her husband? I mean, I thought that you didn't have any sense of fashion, but this guy looked like he might have been homeless or something. Just what state could your home be in, I wonder?
Well, he works at home and was probably just going out to buy some lunch for himself. Is that really so weird to do? And just what are you doing coming around where I live to spy on us? That's pretty creepy, you know?
Creepy? How is it creepy for your older sister to see how you're living?
Well, I guess I don't really mind since we're going to be moving out soon, but still, can you quit creeping around us?
I knew it! I knew that you were too embarrassed to tell me about your husband because he's just some shut-in slob. Do our parents know that you're marrying this guy?
I didn't think I needed their permission to marry who I want. But what I do want is for you to quit creeping around my house and spying on me.
Man, I sure am glad that I married the man that I did. If I married some creepy-looking loser like you, I don't know how I would live with myself.
You seriously just need to learn to mind your own business and stay out of mine.
Hey there, sis. Just wanted to let you know that we won't be showing up to your wedding today.
Are you kidding me? The wedding starts in 10 minutes, Teresa!
That sounds like a you problem. You should just be grateful that I said anything to you at all. I know all about how you're just holding this wedding to scam people via wedding gifts. You just want everyone to buy you expensive stuff so that you can go and sell it all online and make a little money, huh? Well, my husband and I are just sitting here laughing at the state of your life right now.
And just where in the world did you get the idea that that was happening? It seems to me like you're very quick to judge about things you know nothing about. But are you seriously not going to show up to my wedding at all? Did you seriously just last minute cancel on your own sister's wedding?
It sure seems that way, doesn't it? But this is what you get for forgetting your place and trying to be something that you're not.
Well, thank you so much for texting me to remind me of that. And fine, don't show up. Have it your way.
I bet you two are dressed in just some of the shabbiest wedding clothes ever known to man. I can almost see it now. Man, what a sad, pathetic sight it's got to be.
Well, then don't bother coming. It sounds to me like you've already made up your mind about that.
I bet we're not the only ones who canceled. Who would even want to be there for you anyways?
Well, actually, things are going great, and there are even a few famous people at this great venue we booked. So we don't want or need your company.
Famous people? Is that supposed to be a joke?
No, it's not a joke. In fact, I just want you to know that I don't even think of you as my sister anymore. So even if you tried to come in, you wouldn't be able to. If you're curious for answers, maybe you should Google my husband's name and see what comes up.
Max, what the heck is the meaning of all this, huh? Why aren't I being let into your wedding? What the heck is going on?
I already told you that you wouldn't be able to get in if you tried, didn't I?
But you were being serious about that?
Of course I was. I didn't want you here ruining the day, not just for me, but for Mom and Dad, too. And just what are you doing showing up so late to my wedding anyways?
What am I doing? I want to know what you're doing. You said your husband was an investor, but when I Googled him, a bunch of TV clips came up where he's being interviewed about the market. I had no idea he was such a big deal in the finance world. Even I've heard of him, and I don't even follow that kind of news.
Okay, well, thank you for telling me that, but what do you want me to do about it? You already knew what he looked like when you were spying on us, although he normally isn't dressed like that when he goes on TV.
But I had no idea what he even looked like, much less what he looked like in street clothes. And I had no idea that you were going to be marrying such a rich guy. But that means that you have to just be marrying him for his money, right? This is all just part of a big plot of yours, isn't it?
Can you please just give it a rest already, Teresa?
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I work as an editor for a rather large business magazine. That's how we met. We bonded over mutual interests, and now we're getting married, and that's it.
But you're really just after him for his money, right? You should have introduced me to him when you met him. I'm a way better match for him than you are.
You literally had no idea who he was until just a moment ago. Can you please stop acting like you're owed anything?
But it isn't fair! I'm way prettier than you! Why do you get a husband like that?
I don't know what you want me to say to that. He is marrying me because he loves me, and that's that. If anyone is thinking about marrying someone just for the money, it's you. You had no interest in my fiancé at all until you found out who he really was. Don't try and lump me in with people like you.
What do you mean? Why are you being so mean to me? I didn't even do anything.
Except that you've been putting down my husband while knowing nothing about him, despite the fact that you've also been stalking us like a creep. So if you want to know why you're not being let into our wedding, you can start there.
But you're my sister? I have to be there at your wedding.
I thought I already told you that you aren't my sister anymore. I want nothing to do with you ever again. Got it?
You think you can treat me like this just because you're getting married to a rich guy? Well, I'll just steal him right from under you. What do you think of that?
I think that you're talking nonsense and you don't even realize what you're saying. And that's just another reason why we're not letting you in. You're just here to make a big scene and ruin my wedding.
But I haven't even done anything wrong. How can you just accuse me like that?
We literally hired security for our wedding with you showing up and trying to do something like you are right now in mind. All you're doing is embarrassing yourself right now. Why don't you save some of your pride and just go home already, Teresa?
But this isn't fair! I got dressed up and came all the way here, and now you're telling me that you're not going to let me in? It's outrageous. How could you do this to me? All I did was cancel at the last minute. Is that really so bad?
I think that you only have yourself to blame for all of this, and that it's not fair for you to act like I'm being unfair right now. Just leave and save yourself more embarrassment. You're being filmed by the security cameras, you know.
But I really want to go to your wedding now that I knew famous people are going to be there. You have to introduce me to someone, please!
Aren't you married?
Forget about that. What about after the wedding is over? Is there going to be a reception somewhere? Maybe I can just meet you all there, right? Please tell me where to go.
Just go home already, Teresa! You know, this wedding might show up in some newspapers somewhere. Can you please just go before people find out that we're related? You're going to embarrass me and our family.
Excuse me. I'm going to embarrass our family. How dare you look down on me like that? Who do you think you are? You know, Mom and Dad reached out to me after I told you I wasn't going to your wedding, and they told me to never contact them again. You're trying to cut me out of your life when I didn't even do anything. My life's falling apart right now, and it's all your fault. You have to help me out somehow.
Why should I help you out with anything when this is all your fault?
What do you mean by that? That doesn't make any sense.
I really don't know what you even think I can do for you at this point. There are already rumors flying around the wedding about the crazy lady asking to be let in. There would be no point in joining the wedding now. The best you can do is just turn around and go home to save face. All you're doing now is making yourself look bad.
I'm the one making me look bad. You've got some nerve telling that to me. This is all your fault, you little brat.
I don't have time for this anymore. I know that you've built yourself up by tearing me down, but I am not going to stand for it anymore. I am cutting you out of my life. Please never, ever contact me again. Just leave me alone, Teresa.
But what about the wedding? I still want in. You can't just turn me away like this. I'm really sorry for canceling last minute, but... Please?
I've already given you my answer. Now please go home and get out of my life. I just started ignoring my sister's texts. As she got more and more frustrated with not being let into the venue, she began acting out more and more. It got to the point where people began filming her antics and uploading them online, where she became somewhat viral. Her newfound popularity from screaming to be let inside of this celebrity wedding was enough to affect her husband, who was quickly identified after she went viral. It didn't take long after that for him to ask Teresa for a divorce. With no husband or family willing to talk to her, Teresa was left all alone. I'm sure she tried reaching out to me for help, but I had already blocked her on all social media, and she had no way of contacting me. Teresa hadn't worked since getting married and so had no savings of her own to speak of. I really have no idea what happened to her since then, but I've put her behind me and have concentrated on my own happiness with my loving husband and parents.
I can't take it anymore! You need to divorce my son right now!
Are we really going to go through this song and dance again, Diane?
Don't you talk to me like that! Do you know that it's all your fault that my poor little Eric is suffering? You need to free him from your evil grasp, you witch!
Free him? Literally, what are you even talking about?
Don't you play dumb with me. I heard all about what's going on from Eric. He told me how it's all your fault that he doesn't have any money.
I see. And did you happen to ask him just how exactly it's my fault that he doesn't have money? Although, if I'm being honest with you, I doubt that he would have given you an honest answer about that. Either way, I think that this is a problem between him and I, and it would be appreciated if you kept out of it.
You think this is some kind of marital problem between the two of you? No, it's a you problem, and just you!
Okay then, can you explain just how it's my fault that Eric doesn't have any money? Because I really don't think you're right about that.
He already told me all about what's going on. He tells me about all the shopping sprees that you've been going on that have left him penniless. He literally had to ask me for money because things were getting so bad. Honestly, how can you be so cold toward your husband when it's suffering like this?
Hold on a second. You said that I was spending all of his money? Why would I be doing that? I don't need his money. I have my own, thank you very much.
You're spending all his money because you're a selfish person who doesn't know when to say enough. Even though I agreed to start sending him money, he was worried that it still wouldn't be enough to keep up with you. He even asked me if he could have some of the money that his late father left for me. That's how bad you're making things for him.
And are you serious? Did he really ask you to start sending him money over all of this? He's 40 years old and he's still expecting his parents to pay him an allowance?
He's only having to do that because of your crazy spending. Don't you get it?
No, I don't get it because it's incorrect. I'm not using a cent of Eric's money. I can tell you that much. If he doesn't have money, it's for another reason, and it doesn't have anything to do with me.
How can you say that? If you think I'm going to just let you keep ruining my son's life, you have another thing coming. I want you to go find a job and get out of the house.
I actually do have a job, and I do get out of the house quite frequently, thank you. But there are times when I can't get out of the house as well.
And why can't you? Because you're too lazy? Because you don't want to work harder? You need to contribute more and quit spending all Eric's money.
Okay, I am going to talk to Eric and ask him to come clean to you. Clearly, you're not going to believe a word that I say. So I don't really see the point in carrying on this conversation today. Eric, you've got some explaining to do. Just why are you telling your mom that it's all my fault you don't have any money? I didn't even know that you were getting from her until today.
Wait, you didn't know that I was asking her for financial help? Well, then again, I guess that I never told you either. But it's really not that much either way.
This isn't about how much money you're getting. What I want to know is why you need that much money anyways. Don't tell me that you're still going at it.
I just have times when I need some more money, okay? It's a personal thing, and just because we're married doesn't mean that you need to know every little thing about me.
Excuse me? Did you seriously just say that? All I'm saying is that I think it's time that your mom found out that you're in debt. And you need to be the one to tell her because she isn't going to listen if it comes from me. Also, I don't appreciate you making a scapegoat and explaining your financial troubles to your mom.
Yeah. But do you really need to get so upset? I mean, it's not like this is the first time that my mom has gotten mad at you for something. So I don't really get what the big deal is.
The big deal is that you are telling your mom that I'm the one who is spending all your money when we both know that isn't true. So don't act surprised when I get mad because you're telling lies about me.
Oh, right. That reminds me. Can I borrow some money from you? I'm just a little short this month, and I only need a little bit, I promise.
Are you even reading a word that I'm saying to you?
I know, but my mom isn't giving me as much money as she used to. And I just really need to borrow some.
I'm still just shocked that you're asking your mom for money. But if you think that I'm going to give you any, then you are sorely mistaken.
You cheapskate. You're always like this to me.
Are you kidding me right now? Look, just tell your mom the truth about what's going on, okay? I don't want to have to be blamed for your problems again. Hey, are you even reading these messages anymore?
You are going to do as I say, and you are going to divorce my son. Do you understand me?
What are you talking about?
I mean that I know all about your little secret. Eric came to me and he told me everything.
And just what secret did Eric tell you about? Because I don't really have any secrets, as you say.
Oh, really? You mean you're not trying to make your husband pay down your $80,000 loan? You've really got some nerve pretending like that wasn't going on this whole time.
Excuse me? You think that I'm trying to make Eric pay off my loans that you think totaled to $80,000? And this is what Eric told you. Diane, I don't know what else to say except that Erica is lying and trying to trick you with that.
No, he's not. My son would never do that to me. He came to me to tell me all about how you were making him pay down your debt. He's already told me the whole story. So I want to hear it from you. Just why are you so intent on ruining my son?
Diane, I am telling you that you are making a mistake, and that is not what's going on. Your son is lying to you about that, okay?
You're just trying to turn me against him to save your own skin. But I'm not going to be fooled. And I want you to leave him. And then I want you to leave and never come back. You're going to pay off your own loan and forget about dumping it all on my poor son. He never should have married a horrible lady like you.
I seriously don't even know what to say anymore. This is just getting ridiculous.
Just shut up and get out of my son's life, you horrible, awful woman!
You mean you're really not going to listen to a word of what I'm trying to tell you? I'll do as you say, but don't come back to me saying that I didn't warn you.
I never want to see you ever again, do you understand me? And I want you to keep away from my poor little Eric, too. You've done more than enough to hurt him already.
Right, of course. I guess I'll just divorce him then.
That's right. I'm glad that you're finally starting to make some sense.
And I suppose you'll just have to take care of him after I leave.
What is that supposed to mean? When you divorce him, you're going to be taking all your debt with you, and then he'll finally be free of the parasite that's been at his side this whole time.
Whatever you say. I guess I'll start packing my things.
I want you out of the house by the end of the day.
Sure thing. I can do that. But I think you should know that that debt isn't mine. It's Eric's.
There you go, trying to lie your way through life again. When are you going to take responsibility for your life and grow up?
You're right. I'll do just that and leave then. I already have my signed divorce papers ready to go, actually, so it's all up to Eric to sign his portion, and then we'll proceed.
I just heard from Eric. He confirmed everything that you were saying.
So you finally come around to listen to me, huh? And you realize that I've also been helping Eric pay down his own loans?
But it can't be right. I mean, how does a loan even get that bad? How did Eric let that happen?
I tried to warn you about this, but you just wouldn't listen to me. I gave you plenty of chances to talk this out, but you were never interested.
Well, I only believe it now because Eric told me that it was right. When I told him that I kicked you out of the house, he flipped out on me. He was so angry at me, and I knew that I must have done something wrong.
Yes, I think you did too. But you didn't do anything wrong to me. Only Eric. And now, thanks to you, he doesn't have anyone like me to support him.
But I don't get it. You were making enough money for the both of you.
Well, I made just enough money for us to have a little leeway, but Eric was always borrowing from me to support his gambling habit.
His gambling habit? What do you mean by that?
You mean he didn't mention that to you at all? The debt that he said was all mine was all from his gambling addiction. Although I guess you had no idea that was happening.
You've got to be kidding me. That can't be. I refuse to believe it.
Believe it or not, it really doesn't make a difference to me at all. But know that I am telling the truth. But at least I'm finally free and I won't have any responsibility for a guy like that ever again.
But no, could it be? Are you really telling the truth?
I am sure that you must be just floored to be hearing all of this, right?
It doesn't make any sense at all.
But anyways, that means that now Eric has to pay off all that debt himself. So I'm sure he'll rope you in to help him somehow. Good luck with that, I guess. This really isn't my business anymore, though, so please don't reach out to me again. I'm finally free! This is so great! Good luck taking care of your helpless son again!
Regina, please, you have to help us.
Oh, Diane. It's been a while since I last heard from you. What is this about? Is everything all right?
I can't pay anymore. We're falling behind on the interest payments and Eric is seriously freaking out. Not only that, but he's already fallen further into debt and You have to help us.
That sounds like a tough spot. But you do remember what I told you, right?
What do you mean? What did you tell me?
I told you that Eric and I are divorced and that his debt isn't my problem anymore. So you two can figure out how to deal with it amongst yourselves. Just leave me out of it. It's way too late to try and apologize and ask for help now. I'd been thanklessly helping Eric for years, and now I never want to have to do it again.
Please, you don't have to be like this. Maybe you two could get back together and come live with me. I'm sure that you must also be in a tight spot having been kicked out of the house, right? Well, you can come back here and we can figure something out that works for everyone.
Actually, I just went out and got myself a condo after I moved out.
Oh, well then maybe Eric and I could go live there after you both get back together.
It's a pretty amazing place, I'm not gonna lie. But I have no intention of sharing it with my gambling-addicted ex-husband or his nosy mother. Like you said, I never want to see either of you again. So anyways, good luck with all of that.
How can you be so cruel? We're coming to you in a time of need. Don't you get that?
I do get that. But what I don't get is why you think you're entitled to my help after the way you treated me. I'm not just someone you can boss around and make demands of. Especially not now. As I've said, Eric and I are divorced. And I am not responsible for either of you. In fact, I'm already talking with my lawyer about getting back the money I spent on Eric.
Get the money back? What is that supposed to mean?
Well, as part of the divorce process, I am going to ask that Eric sends me money out of his paycheck every month. It's all part of the alimony process.
But I just told you that we don't have any money. Are you really going to try and squeeze us for more?
Yep. Anyways, like I said, good luck with all that. You're not that old. Maybe you should think about getting back out there and working. I'm sure Eric would appreciate it.
You're seriously telling an old woman to get back to work?
Well, it sounds to me like you two might not be able to make ends meet if you don't. Maybe you should have listened to me when you had the chance instead of throw me out of the house. Anyways, have a nice life.
After that, Diane and Eric began to be served with their legal fees, and their situation only grew more dire. In order to pay me back, the judge and lawyers agreed to an amount that I was eligible to receive. Then, they gave Eric the option to buy the amount in one lump sum or to give me a portion of his paycheck every month. Eric agreed to pay me a portion of his paycheck and helped recoup some of the money that I had poured into his debt. Although, since I don't really need the money and the amount Eric sends to me every month is always so little anyways, I've decided to donate it every single time that I've received it. Not only do I not need it, I really don't even need a part of my life to come from Eric ever again. Eric was freaking out about his financial situation and even tried to get his mom to co-sign on his loans and split the responsibility. I'm sure it was not a good time for either of them. I heard later on from some mutual friends of Eric and I that him and his mom are always fighting over money and who needs to pay more. Clearly the answer is Eric, since it's his debt. But now that I'm gone, he only has his mom to take advantage of now. I wonder when she'll realize that enough is enough and kick him to the curb like I did. Although, now that she has a role in paying her son's debt, I can't see that happening anytime soon. I think that's especially given that later on, I heard that Diane did end up getting a job and that she's using her income from that and her retirement to help with the debt. She even had to sell her house, and her and Eric now live in a tiny apartment to be able to afford all their expenses. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with any of that at all, and I'm enjoying my life being single. Although it's my first time being single in several years, I am making sure that I take the time to rediscover who I am before jumping into anything too new. I want to take the time to recover after the ordeal I went through, so that I don't make the mistake that I made in choosing my last partner. I have also found that I have time to take up more hobbies, such as knitting. It's going slowly, but I'm making progress every day. It's nice learning how to sew while I stitch my life back together.